Okay, class, today we are going to be talking about moisture, clouds, and precipitation. Okay, so the first thing we're going to talk about is the formation of precipitation, and this is characterized by usually just two processes, and that's the Bergeron process and the collision coalescence process. And so first we're going to talk about the Bergeron process, and that is the precipitation process that happens from the cold clouds that take place in the middle latitudes. In this, the rain droplets remain at a temperature below -degrees Fahrenheit, and this makes the water freeze and turn into forms of precipitation known as ice crystals that eventually fall as snowflakes. When the temperature is above freezing, which is 32 degrees Fahrenheit, the snowflakes will melt and become regular rain droplets. Okay. The next one is the collision coalescence process, and that is precipitation process that takes place in clouds that are above freezing temperature, which is in the tropic region. These clouds are contained entirely of rain droplets that are bigger than 20 micrometers, making it large when falling. As the drops are falling, they continue to grow bigger because of the smaller raindrops that they are absorbing. As they continue to drop and get larger, they eventually get so big that they break off into smaller droplets before hitting the ground. Next, we're going to talk about the types of precipitation, and that is rain, snow, sleet, and hail. And the first one is rain, which we all know is characterized as drops of water that have fallen from a cloud with a diameter of at least 0.5 millimeters or more. The drops smaller than that are referred to as drizzle, and drops larger than that would not survive, and they would just break off into the smaller drops, which would just be what the regular raindrops are. Rain usually comes from nimbostratus clouds. Next is snow, which comes in the form of ice crystals, which are known as snowflakes. Snow is precipitation that comes at low temperatures, but also when the moisture content in the air is low. The precipitation turns into ice crystals because the moisture in the air is small. Sleet is the precipitation of particles of ice that can be seen through. The creation of sleet comes from a high air temperature of above freezing and a low ground temperature of below freezing. As the water freezes, it hits the ground as small ice pellets that are the size of original raindrops. Hail is the precipitation of pieces of rounded ice lumps. These pieces of ice collect more water as it is traveling down through the cloud. Sometimes they are pushed back up through the cloud again and travel down again, making it collect even more and more water that freezes into a larger piece of hail. These size of pieces are normally between 2 centimeters and 5, but also can be larger. Okay, why is airlifting important? Airlifting causes air to cool to its dew point temperature, causing saturation, and then eventually cause clouds that can properly develop. Orographic lifting happens when large and elevated areas are blocking the flow of air. When this happens, the air is pushed over the barrier. This causes areas to produce clouds, which will produce precipitation in some cases. Localized convective lifting happens when the earth is being unequally heated and is causing air pockets that are warmer than others. Because of this, the warmer air, which is thermals, will be pushed up. This can cause clouds to form and cause rain showers. Next, we are going to talk about air masses. What is an air mass? An air mass is a large body of air that carries similar temperature and moisture with it to any altitude. This causes it to bring these temperatures and moisture with it to wherever it moves, bringing in certain types of weather. Why is Oklahoma susceptible to tornadoes? Air masses that contain cold, dry air that come from the northern areas, such as Canada, move southward into the Great Plains, such as Oklahoma, that contain air masses from the Gulf of Mexico. These are hot and humid. This causes severe thunderstorms and can lead to a tornado. There are 5 classifications of air masses. The first 2, polar and Arctic air masses, come from the high latitudes that are towards the Earth's poles, and they are cool in temperature. The next one is tropical air masses, and they come from low latitudes and are in warm temperatures. And the last 2 are continental air masses and maritime air masses, and they come from overseas. Continental is dry and maritime is humid.